Hello everybody, and currently I am just off of Hancock. Hancock is the street right here. This is one of those blocked in communities. There's maybe 25 houses on this in this entire area. Like a good 95% of it is empty. Now I came here just to check up on a few things. As you can see, there's these mailboxes here. These are mailboxes for the entire neighborhood. Now, the last time I came here, I came across some interesting things. As you can see, there's a spot here, missing, 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 and missing. Now, when I came here the last time, these boxes were all marked up with graffiti saying "Kill Trump," "Trump must die," stuff like that. Then over here, these upright pillars, these crossbars here, this one here, and this one here, all of this was all marked up with graffiti, marker and everything. Since then, they've pretty much covered it up, but people have come back with pencils and pens and stuff, and there's still some graffiti that they're putting back on here, but not much. Now, I don't care who you voted for. I don't care, any of that. You don't threaten the president. You don't say that he needs to die. None of that. That's just childish. Now, my main issue tonight is, for the past week, a certain street in my neighborhood has been victim to something like 14 burglaries. Now, these burglaries, they're pretty bad. I mean, breaking and entering during the day and night. People aren't home sometimes. People are home sometimes. That being said, you'd think police would show up and start patrolling those streets more often, especially seeing as it now has a history, repeat history of burglaries, and a lot of them. Now, out of all of those burglaries, on the other side of town, more populated area, higher valued homes, they've been having issues with basically people keying cars. There's a total of 4 that were keyed, 1 tire being slashed, and somebody egged a garage door. That's pretty messed up stuff, but it's not as bad. I personally think it's not as bad as burglaries where people are losing thousands of dollars in merchandise. TVs are missing, computers are missing, clothing. One person actually had their stove stolen. Like, it was ripped out of the wall, because it was one of those wall mount ones. It's just the top, high end too. Like, they ripped it out, cut the cables, and took off with it. Now, you'd think, police would be patrolling that area because that street is being constantly hit, but they're not. They're actually patrolling more in the other neighborhood. I took a 3-hour walk up and down the neighborhood with all the burglaries and saw one officer, and he took off to go somewhere else. But let's see. The current news is these 3 guys right here. These are the burglars. These These are the guys that the police are looking for in connection with all the burglary. And they don't know they don't know who's doing the egging or keying of cars, but that stuff is most likely children. Children messing around. Yeah, there's damages to vehicles and stuff like that, but personally, I don't think that takes priority over 3 grown men going house to house, stealing whatever they can. And it's actually really upsetting that because the more high dollar houses pay more in taxes, that the police think it's a better idea to go there. It's messed up. Now, last night I was out on a walk, and there was a lady. She was not quite right in the head. She was growling, barking, rolling around on the ground. She was attacking dogs with like rocks, and then she's growling and barking at them and screaming and kicking cars. I called the police and told them what was going on, and the officer asked me if I could follow the lady, follow her, and keep them updated on where she's at. I did. I followed her, and then the officer said to hold on, wait for the officer to show up so I can point them in the direction of the lady. So I did. Now, this lady, she kept going down Clearwater towards a restaurant. I pointed the officers in the direction. They went down. They came back around, came back up, and hassled me, telling me that I shouldn't make up stories like that because it takes them away from real crime. Not even 5 minutes after they left, there was another call from just down the street of a crazy lady. Description is identical to the one I had, and she was in somebody's yard beating their dog. The police didn't respond because they believed that it was another prank. I have no problem with police officers. I actually respect them. I respect the job they do, but when police officers shirk their duties like that, it really upsets me. And in this city, you are more likely to see a police officer on the main road pulling people over than you are seeing them in any residential neighborhood. That's messed up because there are so many calls throughout all these neighborhoods here. Throughout all these neighborhoods, I have a scanner and it runs. All these neighborhoods over here, 40, 50, 60 calls. Highway, you'll get 2 or 3 calls. They spend more time out there giving tickets and pulling people over for speeding than they do actually going to houses that crimes are committed. If these officers would get off the highway, get off that main road, stop sitting perched in one spot for an hour at a time, and actually patrol the streets, crime would drop. I guarantee it. And how can I guarantee it? Because police presence actually deters crime. I'm out here every night getting my exercise, walking around, doing these videos, and like I said, this entire night, right now, it is almost 11 o'clock. I've been out here walking since 7 o'clock. I've seen 2 officers. 2. And that really pisses me off. Sorry about the language, but it does. It really pisses me off. They're more worried about the highway and catching somebody going 10 miles over the speed limit than they are deterring crime in a residential neighborhood. We've got drug dealers on the streets, we've got street racers on the streets, but their main concern is traffic citations. I mean, I've actually called in to the police department about a man shooting up heroin in a driveway. Like, I walk by and the guy's like sitting there and he's doing his heroin and he blacks out. I called in, stayed with the guy. I saw that the police were on the way, and I went across the street and I stood and I watched and made sure that he was okay. I made sure that he was still breathing every now and then. It took the officers 45 minutes to show up. Now you're thinking 45 minutes, wow, that's not that bad. Well, it is. When the guy I called in is a total of 8 blocks from the police department. Now, when the officer showed up, I told him the guy blacked out on heroin, and he purchased the heroin from that house that he was blacked out in front of. The officer checked the guy, got back in his vehicle, turned around and pulled up to me. Then he yelled at me. He told me that if I call the police one more time, they were going to charge me with a nuisance crime for harassment of the police officers. And then he said that the only reason why he's not taking me in for the suspicion of being a rival drug dealer was because he had no proof. That is what we're dealing with here. I mean, there are good cops and there are bad cops. As you can see, I already posted a video of a real nice cop. He took my business card and said maybe one day in the future they'll call upon me for something. And ever since then, there's police officers here, police officers there. So far, in just my city, I'd say 3 out of 10 police officers are nice. All the others are jerks. They're dicks. I get stopped a lot, and it's actually ridiculous. They go, well, you match the description of something, and it's like, no, I don't, because I heard the radio call. I do not match that description whatsoever. But it's neither here nor there. It's just a ridiculous thing. Now, it just upsets me. I mean, instead of patrolling where they should, they go to where they make the most money. Rather than being, protect and serve, they are, going out for taxing people. I just don't get it. But that's it for now.